Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, and then I post it up to Facebook. And this video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. I'd like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp, BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They're an online therapy company. They are international. They are everywhere in the world. So if you need to get to a therapist, go to BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They'll ask you to fill out a questionnaire. They'll place you with a licensed professional therapist, either master's level or PhD level. If you don't like them, you just go back on and say, didn't like them, didn't work. So they'll ask you a few more questions. They'll put you with somebody else. So thank you, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. I've gotten lots of good comments on it. People are liking their therapist, which makes me very happy. So, and they're getting help. So that is what it's all about. BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay. So as you may notice, I am not in my normal spot. We are in Boise on our way to Portland to do the meet and greet, which is on July 2nd between 2 and 4. Tickets are available on chrisgodinez.com, and I will give you the location once you purchase your ticket. So there is that. There are still spots available. Okay, so today's questions, let me get to them. Please help. I feel like I'm an addict. I feel addicted to my abuser. I feel like I'm going through withdrawals when we break up. Am I crazy? No, you are not crazy. Dear Lord, you're not crazy, and you're not alone. So here's the deal. When we get with an abuser, they do intermittent positive rewards. I love you, I hate you. 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 Drives us cray-cray, like literally. And what it does is when they bond with us physically, when they do the whole love bombing thing and they're with us physically, like sexually all the time. I may have to move out of the sun here in a little bit. When they bond with us, it releases oxytocin. Oxytocin is the bonding chemicals between lovers, between family members, between mommy and baby. So when they withdraw, we start producing oxytocin like crazy in an attempt to get them back, okay? And of course, when that doesn't happen, we start having withdrawal symptoms. So let me be very, very clear, because this has come up throughout the years that I've been doing this. You are not addicted to the abuse. You are addicted to the oxytocin that the abuser helped you produce. So you're not addicted to the abuse, you're addicted to the abuser and the oxytocin. So, and it's not the behavior you like, that's for damn sure, but it's that intermittent positive rewards. It's brainwashing. It's what they do to POWs to make them more malleable to whatever the, nasty people want. So intermittent positive rewards sets up this oxytocin, lack of oxytocin, this person goes away, then your oxytocin goes crazy, and then, and then you're in withdrawals, and then they come back and do the Hoover, and you're susceptible to it because you're like, oh, thank God, seriously. So no, you are not crazy. You are not. Who's crazy is the jackwagon that's doing that to you. That's crazy. Healthy, normal people don't torment other people. They got too many. Healthy, normal people have lives, and they don't care for hurting other people. These people are sadists. The abusers are sadists. They enjoy tormenting you. It gives them glee to see how much you need them. Think of it that way. So, of course, they'll breadcrumb, just keep you kind of going along, kind of like, a drug dealer with an addict, just enough to keep you going, So it's kind of the same thing. So yeah, there is an addiction component, absolutely, but you're not addicted to the abuse. You're not crazy. You're addicted to the oxytocin, the levels of oxytocin, and it's the gaslighting, it's the brainwashing, it's the fear, it's the obligation, it's the highs and the lows. I mean, the highs are incredible. When you're with an abuser, when they're quote unquote good, and I put that in bunny ears because they're never really good, but when they're not being overtly abusive, oh man, it's wonderful. It's the greatest ever. It's amazing. It's this, that, and the other thing. But then when they start their BS and start doing the intermittent positive rewards, oh man, high highs, low lows, and we get addicted to that adrenaline of, are they coming back? That's the other component of it. There is an adrenaline factor in there. So yeah, it's insidious, it's nasty, it's vicious, it's vital that you go no contact and you stay no contact. That's really what is important, because that breaks that cycle of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, they will hoover you. They will absolutely, oh, baby, I've changed. It'll be different this time. I promise, blah, 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 blah. Don't believe them. Don't believe them. If you go back after a hoover, the love bombing time will be shorter, the devalue and discard will be longer, and it will be more vicious. It will, more sadistic. So no, you're not crazy. Yes, this is a component of narcissistic abuse. This is a component of leaving a narcissist. So gentle with you, my love. Gentle. Do not be mean to you. You're not crazy. You're not alone. Seriously, look into a trauma therapist. Get with a good trauma therapist. Not trauma informed. You want somebody who knows their a-hole from a hole in the ground. Seriously. So be very careful of people who call themselves trauma therapists, because not all of them really know what they're doing. So I would suggest word of mouth is always the best way to find a therapist. And the other thing you want to do is you want to interview the crap out of them. Where did they get their training? How do they know about trauma? Do they have any personal experience with it? You don't need details. I just need to know if you've ever been through it and how you handled it and, that kind of thing. And that really does help. Now, that doesn't mean that every single therapist has to have had an abusive relationship, but you don't want one that just slaps the title trauma informed because they took a weekend class. No. You want somebody who knows what they're doing, who studies this. This is their main focus. This is what they do. This is, yeah. So anyway, there's that opinion. All right. I hope that answered your question. Please be gentle with yourself. Get with a good trauma therapist and get out of the relationship. Leave. Save yourself. Okay. I have a coworker who's a tattletale, runs to the boss for everything, and the boss feels like an abuser. Oh, well, you're not wrong. Perception is everything. So here's the deal. What I've seen is that companies, job sites, et cetera, they tend to mimic the family of origin of whoever's in charge. So if you've got a golden child that's running back and tattling on everybody, and the boss is an abuser, it's pretty sure that the higher ups are also dysfunctional. So you want to get out. You just do. It's hard to find a good, healthy, sane work environment. It really is. It's not impossible though, but you do want to pay attention to your gut. Your gut's screaming at you. Your gut's like, ooh, this does not feel good. This does not feel right. I'm not sure what to do with this. But yeah, this does not feel good. Oh, here comes the neighborhood kitty cat. Hi, what are you doing? Hi, babies. You gonna come over? Yeah, good kitty. She must be part Siamese, because boy, is she a talker. Anyway, yeah, trust your gut. There is something to this. So the tattletale is doing the, golden child thing. I'm gonna run to the boss and curry favor and all that sort of stuff. I may need to move because the sun is now coming out. Hold on a second. We shall... Okay, baby, hang on. We shall walk. Oh, my goodness. Ugh. So the boss is definitely... What are you doing? That's my chair. What are you doing? Yes, you're a good kitty. So the boss is definitely setting it up so that it's replaying whatever family of origin stuff that he had going on. So just be careful, because that pretty much tells me everything I need to know about this situation. Madam, what are you doing? Hold on, I'm gonna grab my chair. Let me grab my chair. No, don't jump in the chair. Okay, so yeah, it's not a healthy situation. I strongly suggest that you look for another job. And I strongly suggest that... Kitty, what are you doing? I strongly suggest you look for another job, and trust your gut. That's the biggest thing, is you always want to trust your gut. And you want to be careful around this tattletale coworker, because there's people who do that as an adult. Oh boy, are they playing out their family of origin stuff. So yeah, get out of there as soon as you can. So, and really, that's the only thing you can do. You can't fix it. You can't change it. You can't fix it. You can't save them. You can't make it better. You can't, there's no changing this. Believe me, there's no changing this. If the higher ups are the same way, there's no changing this. Okay, can you talk more about enmeshment? My toxic mom is overly involved in my brother's life. Okay. So enmeshment is where a toxic parent, literally, you cannot tell where one person begins and the other begins. One person begins and ends, and the other person begins and ends. So enmeshment is when a toxic parent literally just gets too involved in their child's life. They take things personally that happen to the child. So say, for example, the child is a teenager and dating, and the child breaks up with the boyfriend or the girlfriend. The enmeshed parent will take it personally, like it was them that got dumped, or them that got broken up with, or whatever. It's like they personalize everything, instead of saying, hey, this is my kid's experience. This is what my kid is going through. What are you doing? This is what my kid is going through. I need to allow them to go through the heartbreak of a breakup and, process it themselves and let them have their own emotions. So enmeshment is where the toxic parent almost takes over or becomes that kid. It's like they're completely, the kid can't make a decision without them. They have to tell them everything. There's no privacy. There's no, it's really, it's very, very toxic. So really, okay, my toxic mom is overly involved in my brother's life. If the brother is a minor, there is not much you can do. You can talk to your brother, but the person has to be ready to acknowledge. Hi, yes, hello. The person has to be ready to acknowledge that there is a problem and be willing to do something about it at some point. So self-esteem workbook, Glenn Schiraldi, is always good. Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker. That's on codependency. CPTSD, Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. And any and all books to build self-confidence and to build the ability to leave and not feel dependent. So this kind of ties into the dependent personality disorder. So when you've got an enmeshment going on, it does cause dependency, because then that kid feels like they can't do anything without the parent, or because the parent will punish them, or the parent will pull this whole butt hurt, but I'm your mother, I'm your father, I'm your best friend, I'm your, I need to know. No, you don't. The kid needs space. Kids need space to grow. They just do. They need space to grow. So, this plays into the dependent personality issue that I talked about on Sunday. So, all you can do is point it out to your brother, but you cannot fix it, okay? I mean, it's like, you can point out the issues. You can suggest he gets counseling. If he's a minor, suggest he leaves as soon as he turns 18. I mean, that's real. And point out, this is enmeshment. This is codependent. This is dependent. This is not good. You need to be independent. So the Glenn Schiraldi, the self-esteem workbook, is great for that, because what I have found is that a lot of toxic parents take away the child's independence, enmeshes with them, or devastates them to the point where they feel like they can't do anything right. And it's really to serve the egoist's purpose. Really, they want the kid there. They need a whipping post. That's who they're using. So, not good. So work with your brother. See if he'd be willing to work on the self-esteem workbook. If he can get into therapy, that would be really good. But remember, if they're a minor, there's not much you can do. So when they turn 18, you could absolutely, talk to them, take them to a therapist, whatever, the parent can't do anything about that. So, all right. I want closure, damn it. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want them to acknowledge what they have done. They will never do that. They will never do that. You would have a better chance of an ice cube in hell than you will ever get of having an abuser truly and sincerely acknowledge what they have done. So, closure is a myth. Closure is a myth. You don't get closure. Your closure is accepting the apology that you never received. Seriously. So write and burn letters. Seriously. Dear ex, the good, the bad, the ugly, the horrific, the unforgivable. At the very end, you tell them to go pound sand. At the very end, you take your power back. You get out of my head. You've never apologized for what you did. You don't even know what you did. You don't think you did anything wrong, because they don't. They truly, truly, truly do not believe they did anything wrong. That is their, I'm not wrong, and if I was wrong, somehow it's your fault. That's how they think. So you've got to let go of this whole idea of closure. The closure is you got out of there. Thank God, you got out of there. So your closure is living your best life. Your closure is punting this guy or this girl out of your head. So your closure is, at the end of the letter, go pound sand. I'm evicting you. Get out of my head. You don't get to live here rent free. I am going to go live my best life. And the best way to get revenge, because that was another question that came up with Kim Saeed actually today. She posted a really good one on the idiocy of seeking revenge. So it's on her website, and I reposted it to my Facebook page. Anyway, Kim Saeed, it was like, she was like, the best revenge is to have them absolutely be insignificant, because narcissists truly believe they're God. Narcissists truly believe that the sun rises and sets on their hind end. And you want to see a collapsed narcissist? They're in the nursing homes. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And it drives them crazy that they are literally insignificant. So you want to get to the point. The opposite of love is not hate. Let me just be very clear. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is absolute indifference. Don't care. I truly don't care. You don't even cross my thoughts. You're not in my head. And it's a beautiful feeling when you've gone for like months or years and they pop in and you're just like, interesting. I haven't thought about them in a while. Good. And then you go on about your day. So really, that's your closure. That's your closure. Work on you. You're not going to get the apology. They're not going to apologize. They're not. And even if you do manage to shame them into an apology, like I did that with my dad, he cornered me in the laundry room and told me I was a whore for having my own apartment, because that's what he would do, right? And I finally reached down and found my self-esteem, and I demanded that he retract that. And I told him, don't you ever speak to me that way again. And he apologized, but you could tell. I mean, it was like a forced apology. There was a tiny bit of shame there, and then as soon as the apology was over, boy, that narcissism just popped right back up. So, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get by forcing them to apologize. They truly, 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 truly do not believe they did anything wrong, ever. So that's really, it's not within their abilities. There's no there, guys. When I say there is no there, I am not just whistling a tune. There truly is no empathy there. There is no ability to go, what's my part in this? They don't take responsibility. They don't put themselves in somebody else's shoes. They have no shame when it comes to harming other people. I suspect they are filled with shame on other levels, but they're just hateful human beings. They really are. And sometimes I question the human being part. So, you're not going to get closure. So let that go. Write and burn an angry letter to them at the end. Take your power back. Go pound sand. You don't get to live in my head rent free one more second. Screw you. I know exactly what you are, and I did not deserve any of this behavior. And you know what? I'm going to accept the apology that I never got. So go pound sand. Skankoid. Yeah. And then take it out to the barbecue, read it out loud once, burn it. Let it go. Work on the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving, Pete Walker. Get yourself solid so that you are not constantly thinking about your abuser, because you don't need to be. The best revenge is a life well lived without them even being a thought. So there that is. All right. Well, I am going to sign out from Boise. And I will see you guys in, oh, hello, kitty. I will see you guys in Portland on July 2nd between 2 and 4. Tickets are available on kitgodinas.com. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.